What's up, y'all, and thanks for stopping by the Surge T channel. I am Surge T, and tonight I will be doing my rundown and thoughts on tonight's episode of NXT for August 17, 2021. And it was presented as Championship Tuesday, I believe during the commercials yesterday for Raw. But apparently it's only one title because, well, let's start it off. Diamond Mine came out to the ring. They call out Kushida, talk about, you know, whatever they talked about when it came to Kushida. But Kushida wants to defend his cruiserweight title. That's what I thought. But he's not medically cleared. So an open challenge is laid out by Diamond Mine, and Dragunov accepts. So he goes one on one with Diamond Mine member Roderick Strong. And I gotta tell you, man, these guys were laying chops in. And man, those chops from Roddy are vicious. I mean, y'all remember at Royal Rumble when he connected with, when he connected, but how Strong busted open those capillaries on Daniel Bryan's chest. You see the aftermath, like the next day, his chest was just raw, raw, bloodied, all that. And I gotta tell you that Roddy hits hard, but Dragunov hits harder. And despite being busted open, his face was just a crimson mass, blood all over. But he connects with a Torpedo Moscow flying headbutt, and he gets the pin on Roderick Strong, and that's good because he lost last week, so it was good to get a win underneath his belt, so that he kind of looks strong going into his NXT UK Championship match against Walter. Now, the undisputed finale, Prime Target, and it shows the Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly saga, and to say it has been a rivalry for the ages is an understatement. Very well put together. Loved the history that they showed and the words going back and forth between Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, and that's probably one of the most anticipated matches. You know, it's the third in their storied rivalry, and let's see what happens at the end of that. And we all know that Adam Cole's history. I'm not history, but his career with WWE is up in the air now. See what happens after this match. Does he leave or does he stay? So we'll see. Now, Hit Row ain't about games. They don't play. And Swerve shows how last time he got his grill ripped out of his mouth. And Santos then comes on the Titantron, and he actually offers to return his property. Legado, he says, is going to be in the back. They're not going to be there, so how about you come out without Hit Row? And he doesn't one on one as promised, and we all knew that. Like, were we really surprised when we didn't see right behind Swerve? Here comes, you know, um, Joaquin Wild, and here comes Raul Mendoza. But then both crews go at it because out comes Top Dollar and Ashante Diadonis, and they got their girl B-Fab with them. And I love how she was getting her licks in. She had that pole with her, and she was getting in there too. She's proven that, hey, just because I'm a girl, man, I mean, I'm not gonna get into this, and I'm not gonna get mixed. I'm not gonna just sit back and let my boys go at it. I'm gonna get me some too, and she did, and they pretty much laid them out, and pretty much got their payback. Uh, so let's see what happens. This rivalry is really good. I like it. I think that it really does have a lot of just energy to it, and I like both factions. They actually do gel together when it comes to them going back and forth. Then one gets one over on the other, and the other one gets one over on the other one. So they're kind of going back and forth, and it works, and it's actually not you know forced or pushed. It just feels right, and it's organic. I love the way that they're doing this rivalry, and it's really really great. Now, Grimes versus Briggs, the guy who was defeated by Carmelo Hayes in the what do I call it, in the opening round, I guess you can say, right? Or yeah, and Knight has a monetary incentive for Briggs to beat up Grimes. We all know that LA Knight's going to be taking on Grimes for the $1 million championship. You know what the stakes are. If Grimes wins, you know, he wins. He doesn't keep. He keeps the $1 million man from becoming the $1 million butler. But if he loses, well, $1 million man becomes his butler. And his incentive to Briggs is he's gonna give him $5,000 before the match, and he's gonna give him 5,000 after. And the $1 million man gets a wind of it. He's at ringside along with LA Knight. He says, "Hey, let's double it, 10,000." Well, what happens next is Grimes caves in Briggs' chest, you know, hitting him with the cave in, and he beats him. And then $1 million man is saying, $20,000, please, give me that 20. You owe me that. He gets knocked. He gets his, he gets a punch in the mouth for his efforts, and then and then ooh, sorry guys, I'm a little tired. My head's kind of buzzing, but LA Knight is able to connect with that finishing move of his. That I don't know what you call it, but he's able to nail Grimes with it, and that's that. So kind of got one up on both Billion Dollar Man and Cameron Grimes. Now Imperium, alongside Walter, they look to continue to protect the purity of this sport. They always talk about that, integrity of the ring, stuff like that. And also, Indi looks to take her relationship with Dexter to the next level. What does that mean? You can only guess. And a side note: the Garganos actually announced on August 12, 2021, that they are expecting their first child in February of 2022. And congratulations to the Garganos. Characters aside, they actually are very, very, just great to watch in the ring. They got great characters, some obnoxious at times, but you always feel happy for, these guys when, they're expecting something like that. You have Daniel Bryan, and then Brie Bella. You have, former Raw champion, in Ronda Rousey. She is expecting her first child with her husband. And then, of course, we have Lacey Evans, and then Becky Lynch has had her child. Her and Seth Rollins had their kids. So it's always good. It's always good to see that, and it's always a happy moment. And congratulations to them. Now we have an interview, and Zoe and Io aren't exactly tight friends right now, and Io still doesn't like Zoe. She tells Zoe it's not about friends; it's about defending their titles. So that never-ending saga of Zoe trying to gain the friendship of her tag team partner. We'll see what happens. They are the tag champions, so they got to start getting that thing together. They got to start getting that camaraderie and that closeness, because that's the only way they're gonna be able to click as a tag team. But then again, maybe they still can. They won the titles despite not being friends. So we'll see what happens now. In-DEX, Dexter, Lumis, and Indi Hartwell are set for mixed tag team action against Robert Stone brand, Robert Stone and Jesse Kamea. And I'm loving the chemistry between Indi and Dexter. I mean, how can anyone not be, into their story? And Robert Stone is a fool. He's dressed like his tribute to Steven Seagal, even has a long ponytail. And in this match, man, he looks like an idiot, like can't wrestle. And he's overselling, and he's bopping all over the floor. And I go, this guy's a really good wrestler. If you guys, if anybody remembers him from Impact and from TNA and all that stuff, and I do. And the guy is a competent wrestler. He does perform in that ring. He does deliver. But of course, he's got to be the goofy manager. He's almost like Jimmy Hart. That's what he reminds me of. Because Jimmy Hart, whenever he would get thrown around in the ring, he'd flop up and down like a fish out of water, But he's a fool. And then Frankie Monet, her antics get her sent packing by the ref. I mean, she's holding on to Dexter Lumis's leg, and then Dexter Lumis is walking forward, and she's getting pulled into the ring. Ref sees her and says, you're out of here. Sends her packing, like I said. And we then see Indi in the end locking in the silence submission. Jessica Maya, and Dexter does the same to Robert Stone on the outside. and she taps her out and gets the victory. And then we see like her Indy Hartwell kind of lock eyes with Beth Phoenix, and then Beth Phoenix is giving her, telling her to breathe, and she's kind of giving her. So I guess she's been going to her for advice and all that stuff. And then after the match, she goes up to Beth Phoenix. Beth Phoenix whispers in her ear. She goes in there, and then Indy, you know, she gets down on one knee and she proposes to Dexter, and he accepts. And now IN-DEX is now engaged. I like that, because I'm very, very invested in the story. I like it. I think they're really, really great. It's fun, really fun. Even their interactions with the Garganos is hilarious. And this is all done on Indy's birthday, so happy birthday to the newly engaged Indi Hartwell. She was somebody who I was kind of like on the fence with when I first saw her, and then she's just been coming along and blossoming as a superstar. And she's definitely one of NXT's top rising superstars at the moment. Now, interview backstage, and Diamond Mine suffered a loss. How does Roddy feel about that? Says the interviewer. And Dragunov, but Malcolm Bivens says, no, you're going to talk to me. You don't talk to Roddy. And he says that Dragunov was a heavyweight, not a cruiserweight. That's what Malcolm Bivens says. So the match doesn't count. Let's see. I don't think 198 pounds is a heavyweight. I think that's right around cruiserweight. Now, and plus, open challenge was issued. Dragunov accepted and won it. Cut and dry. You didn't say that you were going to have the open challenge to a cruiserweight. If you had said that in the beginning, then maybe you would have a valid point there. But yeah, heavyweight or not, it's an open challenge, and Ilya, accepted, and he won the match. Now, Gonzalez and Kai are both interviewed by Beth. Well, actually, Beth just kind of like introduces them, kind of puts a question to them, and then they end up just going with it. And Gonzalez says that she knew that one day Kai would betray her. But then Kai brings up, why didn't Gonzalez see it coming when she kicked her head off? I mean, Kai betrayed Keegan Knox. We know that as was that at War Games. We remember that. And Kai then reminds, Gonzalez reminds Kai that she's taking out the entire division, but she's not going to be, the last one left that's going to take her title away from her, to beat her and to humiliate her. These two went back and forth, and we all know of the tension between them, and we all know the history, and we all know pretty much this is something that we've seen before. But I love how they wrote this. I love how the storyline is. I like how they booked it, even though it was really, really like in less than 2-3 weeks. But at the same time, it's really something. I think it's probably one of the most anticipated women's title matches in NXT that I've seen in a while, and there's been some great title matches, of course. But I like how this one's the one time, in a it's a rarity that two people that they say are two of the best friends, and then they break up via the very, very well known and well seen, and we've seen it over and over again. The whole thing of friends breaking up and having a rivalry and something on the line at most most instances. But it's going to be a great match, and I can't wait to see it. Now the semis of the breakout tournament, Carmelo Hayes goes one-on-one with Duke Hudson. Kind of picked Duke Hudson to be the one that goes on to win it. But at one point during this match, and it was back and forth and a very, very physical match, but we see a really sickening and rather awful looking DDT Hudson took on the apron. And it looked like he took more of it on his shoulder and chest than his head, because at first, when I saw that, I thought, oh, I just saw somebody break their neck or get their neck broken. And because of that, man, it seems like he never recovered. Hudson never recovered after that. And as he's on the receiving end of a top turnbuckle high diving like leg drop against the back of his neck. And that was it. That's all she wrote. And Carmelo Hayes defeats him and takes him out and moves on to the finals to meet Odyssey Jones. And I love the thing that he said, that it's like in a video game, that you have to get to the final boss in order to win it. And he says the twist is that he's the final boss. And then out comes Odyssey Jones. Odyssey Jones says that at the end of the match, in the finals, he wants to, hear I guess, he did like a toot toot, something like that, where he's like going just with hands, and shit. And they're just looking at each other, kind of smiling, but then they're kind of like cocky. They're kind of looking at each other like, yeah, I got you. I got you at the finals, and I'm going to get you. I'm going to take you out, and I'm going to, back and forth, like it was like two baby faces, two guys who are favorites. These guys get a lot of hype. They get a lot of the crowd popping about these guys. I think that's going to be a really really fun match. It's going to be a great match, a physical match, and also a match of like because Carmelo Hayes has had to go on against bigger guys. You know, I mean, his opening match, he went against Briggs, took him out, and then now he took out who was bigger than him, and then he took out Hudson, who was bigger than him. So now he's going to face a guy who's even bigger than those two, maybe as big as those two combined, and that's obviously Jones. So we'll see what happens with that. And good luck to both guys, and see who wins. Now, step aside or become roadkill, she says. She will not be silenced, so turn up the volume. And that ends up being JC Jane, who I thought, who's this, the Undertaker? Because you see behind her, she has a hat on and a trench coat on, looked like Undertaker first. But JC James is looking to break free. JC James, and who's that other girl? Gigi, got her last name. But she didn't say she will not be silenced. She said they will not be silenced. Saying about they. I guess he's talking about her and Gigi and Mandy Rose. They were together a few weeks ago, chit-chatting and talking backstage. I don't know what they were talking about. It's just a new faction. We'll see. You see her or Gigi, Mandy Rose or Gigi this week, so we'll see what happens. Now, MSK is prepping for the NXT Tag Team title defense. They're getting warmed up backstage, and then Grimes is hyped and pumped and determined to become the new $1 Million champion, much to the laughing delight of the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. He finally ripped his butler shirt off and all, saying that he's not a butler. He yelled that. He meant that. And I'm pulling for him, and hopefully it'll happen. Because what's the purpose of, I guess, to continue the storyline of showing how he is an arrogant fuck, what's his name? LA Knight, and he's going to be, if he beats Cameron Grimes, he gets $1 Million Man as a butler, $1 Million butler, and I don't know if we need to see that. Let's just cut this thing, and let Cameron Grimes hold his way, and let him win, and then let the LA Knight go up against the for the North American title, or go for the NXT title, or maybe put him on the main roster already, we'll see. Now, 10 months of waiting, and it's time to make a name for yourself, Rich Holland. That's what Pete Dunne said, And Rich Holland says that he looks to do so at the expense of Tommaso Ciampa. That's going to be a good match, very physical and hard-hitting, and I can't wait to see that. Now, Karrion Kross and Samoa Joe, they face off before this Sunday's TakeOver 36. This is the last segment that closed the show. And last time Joe competed, it was on February of 2020. Even before the pandemic hit, he was injured and he was out. And, he talks about how he's not here to hurt Karrion Kross's feelings, but he's here to hurt him. He says, tuck your clock in your back pocket and see how you do with less space between us and more opportunity. So stroll your ass down here, young champion, says Joe. Then Kross says that it's not about Joe. He's saying that Joe still doesn't get it. It's not about you. It's not even about him. It's the future of the brand. And after a year off, he says that, do you think that you still can just walk in the NXT TakeOver and become the NXT champion? Take this title off of me, Then Kross calls in security for Joe's protection, not his. And then the crowd chants, Joe is going to kill you. But then he says, no, he's not. And then Karrion Kross then proceeds to continue to walk up the steps. and he says that he's looking to drop Joe quick, much like he did to Jeff Hardy on Raw when he dropped him quick and tapped him out to the cross jacket. But Joe gets the upper hand and he takes out security with a dive through the second ropes. Joe showing that he's definitely prepared and he's definitely ready to do all it takes to become the NXT champion for the third time, a record breaking and a first time ever for that championship. And the two-man battle all over the CWC, and they destroy much of it in their wake. Holy shit! They even took out the one of the barriers and the glass, the plexiglass from the crowd onto the ring area. So there's no messing around. There's no messing about. These guys, I don't know if there's any stipulation for this match. It's gonna a regular pinfall and submission match, but they really should have made it a stipulation, some kind of stipulation, so that they can go all over the ring, all over the arena, elsewhere, just destroying each other, and whoever ends up surviving it is the champion at the end of the night, if this is the main event. But anyway, that's my video for NXT for the 17th of August 2021. And for those of you who stopped by and checked it out, I appreciate it. And in closing, as always, take care.